Hello, everyone. This is Bart Cleveland with Propulsion Lab, and I'm doing an interview with Shane Matula, who is an art director who went through Propulsion Lab's program and now has an exciting new job in LA at RPA. So, Shane, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us a little bit and help others do what you've done. So, tell us a little bit about the new job.
I'm an art director intern at RPA. What I'm working on currently is mostly stuff for Honda's social media.
So tell us a little bit about what went into getting a job at RPA and what was your process?
I probably focus more time on my book than anything.
Okay.
And I was gung-ho, dead set on doing all that I possibly could to the point of exhaustion.
Tell us about how did you get the input to know what you needed to do with your book? How did you go about that?
I'm a big RPA fan. I mean, that was one of the top agencies I ever wanted to work at, because I look at stuff like the stuff they do for farmers insurance, apartments.com, stuff like that, and AMPM. That's some pretty phenomenal stuff. And I figured, okay, my stuff has to be on the level of what they're doing, or at least close to it. I emailed a bunch of the creative directors that worked there and asked for their feedback on my book. What I did, I sent out fan mail to about 15 creatives over there.
Okay, so you really got to know the folks at RPA. And in fact, you told me that when you were being considered from an intern, actually the recommendations for you were coming from multiple places, correct?
I didn't have this plan as the end game, but I knew it was a possibility that if my book was in a good place, I would get referred. However, since I've reached out to 15 people, I think I had about 5 referrals.
Tell us a little bit about how the difference of doing something supplemental like Job Propulsion Lab helped.
A good chunk of that help was having one-on-one time versus being in a classroom where not necessarily, I mean, everyone's getting treated the same way, basically, versus one-on-one, it's tailored to what your needs are.
Right. And then you teamed up with other people that were in the program that had strategy or copywriting or those types of things. So how well did that work?
Before Job Propulsion Lab, I was basically a lone wolf. So I wanted to collaborate to get, come up with big ideas, get them sold off, get hired somewhere. So I entirely welcomed that.
I guess a part of that was because the school that you went to, Texas State, was more a design school than it was focused on advertising. So you did kind of act as a lone wolf from the curriculum, didn't you?
Yeah, precisely.
So if you want to be in advertising, but you went to a design school or some other academic program that was focused on graphic design versus advertising, something like JPL that teams you up with complementary people, that sounds like that made a big difference.
It did, and your partners, play a big part in what you do. I would not be as successful as I did or gotten this gig if it weren't for the partners that I had.
What are the top few suggestions that you would give them? I mean, maybe the most important 3 things that you would tell them that they need to do.
When it comes down to hiring, you got to make a fair fight someone else's problem.
I love that. So elaborate a little bit. How did you make it an unfair fight?
Focus on your book. Keep working on it. Don't ever stop. The second is networking with people and reaching out as many as possible. And I think it goes in hand with, the book. Like how I networked was I asked for critiques. So when I was asking for critiques and talking to, emailing people, I was doing a 1-2 punch with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fixing my book plus networking, and plus if they liked my stuff and liked me, they just passed it on. And that's how it worked for me. And third, I also struggled a lot too. This was no walk in the park for me. I want to emphasize that. And this is not, and no one in this business, success does not happen overnight. So what you have to have is nerves of steel and willpower.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. I mean, there were certainly times where I got frustrated and angry, and I almost did. But there was something inside me that said, don't.
You really focused on a very specific group of targets that you wanted to work for. And I really commend you for that, because you really stuck to that goal. I am going to keep doing what I need to do until I land that job that I know I want. For example, when your job search part of the program started, we met on specific things about what you were doing to your website to make it a marketing piece. We met on how you were writing up your resume, how you were writing up your cover letters that reached out, who you were networking with. I mean, it was a task-oriented process. And then we did mock interviews, remember?
Because when it came to stuff like interviews, I would just clam up. I'd be nervous as all get out. So practicing doing that did help.
How did you make a connection, personal connection with some of the people you talked to?
Part of what I did was when I reached out to people, I also looked at their work and I thought about, okay, is this someone who I'd want to be my boss? Is this someone who I'd want to learn from? So it wasn't like I mass blast a ton of people. I went through their work as well and said, I looked at it and thought, okay, is this what I want to do? Yes. If it was a yes, I emailed.
I love your advice, the 3 pieces you gave. You're like, don't give up, do your homework, work on the book. I mean, those things are primary. But just as important, I think you would agree, is the amount of effort and time you put into your job search.
The thing about the ad industry, I think no one gives out a manual about like how to bust in or what to do or how to get in. And you have to sort of find your way. And I think that's where the research came in. That's where, virtually pounding the pavement.
What is your thought on what you will be doing in the internship that is going to make that transform maybe into a more permanent offer if there's an opportunity or an opening?
Helping people out and making people's lives easier. Then at the same time, while you're doing that, that's when, like the stuff working on your portfolio comes into play. Just take the same mentality you have from that, apply it to what you're doing.
So be there for them, the team player, make contributions for others, make their life easier. Thank you so much for spending time with everybody that might watch this and learn from you. And I know that you'll be an inspiration to them as you are to me. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bart, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in the position that I would have.
Well, it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people, the people you worked with, and a lot of others. But believe me, it was a pleasure doing it, working with you and spending time with you.